What's going on, everybody? X-Men Files back with another video. Happy 4th of July, belated 4th of July. I'm making this video pretty late. I didn't watch any fireworks, but I for sure heard a lot of them. Um, Today's video is just going to be me talking about what games I'm looking forward to that were announced within like the last month, because roughly a little bit over a month ago, around a month ago, was a Summer Games Fest, and there was just a lot of stuff being talked about. But on top of that, there was some like straggler announcements and showcases like East 10 Nordics just got a release date, like an official release date today. And earlier this week, we got to look at Dead Rising, the remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. So I was just waiting for a few things that I heard rumors about, and I was just paying attention to those to make this video. But now that everything that I can think of or everything that I really cared about is all said and done, I thought it was really good to make this video. Um, like I said earlier, it's just there was a lot of games that were shown, and I feel like very few really intrigued me, which isn't a bad thing. I just think that we came off of a great year of 2023, and so it's pretty hard for uh, games moving forward to kind of check all of those boxes, if not majority of those boxes. So before I go into the list, I really just want to give like a honorable mentions list, because I really like these games, but I didn't feel like they were just like I need these day one. So during Summer Games Fest opening night live when Jeff Keighley was hosting it, he showed an indie game called Neva, which looked really good. Art style looked great. The character models look great, so I'm looking forward to that. At the Nintendo showcase, they didn't have too much that really like intrigued me, but Mario and Luigi Brothership looked really good. Um, from the Xbox showcase, Doom: The Dark Ages, everybody's talking about it. I'm looking forward to that. The Blumhouse Games initiative, with everything that they showed, I think those are all games that I will consider playing or just buying and getting around to it eventually. And the last one, I don't see enough people talking about, but Power Rangers, Rita's Rerun. I hope I said that right. Um, that game basically just looks like the Ninja Turtles game that came out a couple years ago. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So, with that list being done, I can get into the real list of these 6 games that I feel like I'm more than likely gonna get day one. So the first game up on the list is Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think that this game showed really well. I was pretty hesitant at first, just given the whole happenings with Valhalla and all like the bloat that came with that game. Not saying that it was a bad game. I just think that they kind of just tried to throw everything into the pot and see what will stick. I don't get that vibe with this game. Of course, we won't know until we get hands on, but I think that they showed a lot of stuff that like intrigued me. Like I purposely picked the Naue gameplay. The Naue is however you say her name. I don't want to be disrespectful, because I know that that's like a big thing for this game, the Japanese culture that surrounds it. But I picked her gameplay specifically because the stealth aspect seems so much more um, interactive. Like there's a lot more to think about when considering how to tactfully complete the objective. I think that they showed a lot of stuff that you can do in this game that really like made me happy and excited just to get hands on. Like breaking the lights, the vertical traversal, which you just saw her do, like the rope that she put herself up on or whatever. Which vertical traversal has always been a thing in Assassin's Creed, but it just seems like it's a lot more expounded on in this game. Like later on in this clip, she'll do this thing where she needs to hide, and she just basically like just crawls up into the ceiling or whatever. The assassination animations look really good. All of the hiding options, like the light, really plays a big role in being stealthy. And just like the pacing of this really reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid 5 trying to be completely stealthy. Other things that I liked about this game and its showing was the dual protagonist, which I'm always a fan of. The setting, Japan, come on now, you can't beat that. The playstyle differences between the two characters, which once again I won't know until we get hands on, but as of right now that looks like a strong suit. The animation changes, everything looks more fluid now, and the combat from Yasuke just looked very just punchy. It felt, or at least it looked like it felt very responsive. So yeah, this is a game that I'm almost certain I'll be getting day one. Very excited to play it. Very excited to see everything else that it has to offer.
All of you. First, Fujioka dies in the street at the hands of some stranger. And then you serve me.
Now, game number 2 on this list is something that's been shown in the past and rumored and just had a lot of just conversation surrounding it for the last couple of years, but to finally put eyes on it just felt amazing, and to see the quality that it's at looks great. And the second game is Dragon Quest III, the 2D HD remake. There's really nothing that I can say about this game that hasn't already been said, but I just wanted to note some of the things that stuck with me, that also stuck with everybody else. The art design, the background art, like all of these different settings, they look amazing. The enemy designs, they look very animated and very, they just have a lot of personality. It's the first of an entire trilogy, which I was super excited about them showing at the end of the reveal trailer, that the first and second would also be getting remade in this style, coming out next year. I would love for them to have done it in order, but oh well. The music was great. The color palette on an OLED screen looked amazing. I will be getting this on my Switch OLED. From what I heard from people who played it on the floor, it looks amazing and it plays good, so I'll be doing that. And the release time, November 14th. I'm all for it. I already have my copy pre-ordered. I will be playing this game when it releases. So, yeah.
Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. Available November 14th.
Halfway through the list with 3 of 6, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. I have a lot of Romancing Saga games. I've only played like 2, if I can remember correctly. But this one looks like, if they remade all of the old ones in this style, I would buy them all, play them all, whatever. This game looks amazing. The art style is great. The set pieces, so all of the settings, they look really, really good. I'm all for the character designs. If you know what the original Romancing Saga 2 looked like, this is like just a ground up remake. Like, I'm all for it. The formations, which they'll show later on in this trailer that I got footage from, the formations just seem rudimentary for people who've played JRPGs for a long time. You see them in stuff like Star Ocean, and man, I can't think of another game that has formations like that. But I just remember them from Star Ocean. The story decisions look kind of lackluster, but then again, they just might be showing like some very, very simple stuff just to keep us aware that it's in the game. The pre-battle attack, I'm always a fan of. Let me decide like if I want to get the upper hand or if I don't really care, or it adds a level of awareness to the overworld. The battle animations look great, the music was great, and the combo attacks, being able to chain together like 2 different characters in the party, their abilities to make a better attack. I'm all for that kind of stuff. I love it. I will be getting this game day one. I also have my copy pre-ordered. I don't know how I'll play. Well, this comes out before Dragon Quest. It comes out in October. So maybe by the time Dragon Quest comes out, this will be finished, and then I can just keep those 2 experiences separated and fully explored.
He knew that his spirit itself would continue to live on in me.
Mixing it up a bit,
Hide this tape when I'm finished.
game 4 of
You know, let's
6
make it at least
is
some kind of a
an
record.
old game that's also being remade,
Hitting is pretty hard
which
now.
says a lot about the current state of gaming, but I'm excited for it and other people are too, so I could care less.
One other thing.
The Thing
I think it rips through your
remake
clothes when it takes you
by
over.
Night Dive Studios, which
Windows
is
down to shredded long
one
johns.
of many reasons why I'm excited for it. They do great work when it comes to their projects, so I have no fears at all about this remake being bad. But a few things I just saw in the trailer, the lighting and the atmosphere just really capture the mood that I felt the first time I watched the original movie. It just looks like just gross and creepy and scary, and I'm all for it. The soundtrack sounded great. The monster models, which they showed a little bit ago, and I think they'll show again in a second, they just look grotesque, and I'm all for it. And the sound design. So, yeah, I'm all for this. This will be a day one. Game 5 of 6 took me by complete surprise. I didn't expect it to be shown. I heard somebody say something like, JRPG fans be ready for the Xbox showcase. Didn't have any significance to me at the time. I had no idea what they would have done. I was thinking maybe like a Blue Dragon remake or,
One stroke,
man, I can't think of it.
and everyone of that age.
Regardless, there was some JRPGs that came out during the 360 era that were exclusive to the 360, and I think that's what people were trying to reference, and that's where my head was at. But this game, it looks amazing. Clair Obscure Expedition 33. The story premise has me hooked. The idea that every year a number is drawn and everyone of that age, they just vanish, they die. A few other things, the music, they released like an EP, I think a week after the showcase, and I listened to that music, which has me really in the mood to play this game. The art design looks great. I'm in love with the character designs, the settings, all of that stuff. Like I said, the story premise, the character designs, the combat system, anything that's reminiscent of those Mario RPGs or something like Sea of Stars, that combat system, I'm all for it. That voice acting, Ben Starr, I love Final Fantasy 16. I think he did great as Clive. So I'm all here for it. The combat animations look great, and the intensity of the story and just the characters. Like this scene here, I really want to know what she's screaming at and why she's screaming. So I'll be looking forward to this one, day one. Expedition 33, everybody.
33.
So the final game for my watch list is South of Midnight by Compulsion Games. Now I have to admit, when they originally showed us the in-engine snippet or whatever it was a couple years ago, the dude playing the banjo or whatever with the main character on the pier, I was like super like taken aback. I was just like, what is this? I had no reason to like really be excited, but I think this showing was really good and it highlighted some things that has me excited. But the biggest reason is that I'm an Xbox fan, regardless of how much I dog them for doing stupid stuff or just doing stuff that doesn't reflect the care that needs to be put towards the fans. I want them to still try and do experimental stuff and make new stuff. And I think that this is that. This game's art and animation style, I'm all for. The character moving at a different frame rate than the rest of the world. It was a little off-putting at first, but once I got used to it, watching this trailer a couple times, I'm all for it. The combat, as you just saw, was super. What they gave us was super simple, but I think it was enough to get a feel for the game, which I think just it does good for this game's first showing of gameplay. The voice acting was really good. I cut off that first part with the trifling ass mud cat, but I think that spoke to them really trying to capture the essence of Southern culture and the dialect and word choice, all of that stuff. So I think that that really shined through. The music was great, the color palette was great, and the traversal, as you just saw, like her using the Breath of the Wild glider, even though it's that game is what made it popularized, and we see it in almost every open world game now, or majority, or some, or whatever. I don't want to speak too specifically about that kind of stuff, but yeah, I think that they showed a lot of good stuff, and I will be getting this. My only gripe is that it doesn't have a date. So yeah, those are the games I'm looking forward to.